right, fellow babies, welcome to Pachter Factor on SIFTD.net. If you are a Patreon patron or YouTube subscriber, thank you for all of the support. Shane appreciates it. If you can, remember, please, to link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch Prime account. That's everybody, subscribers and not. That's free, costs absolutely nothing. Amazon pays, it's all included in your Amazon Prime subscription. So please link those two accounts. There are instructions in the show description below. Costs you nothing. Amazon pays. Stick it to them because Shane gets paid. Our question today comes from SIFTD from at least two users, Joachim Dragoon and Allison. Why are people up in arms with Saudi Arabia buying EA, considering Saudi Arabia is a known U.S. ally? What are the pros and cons of EA going private versus staying public? Why does Saudi Arabia want to be involved in gaming? Do you think this will have an impact on including same-sex or transgender characters on themes in EA's games going forward? Well, your last question kind of answers the first question. So there are a lot of people who disapprove of how the Saudis manage human rights. And, until recently, women couldn't drive in Saudi Arabia. I think maybe the last 5 years. Women are required to wear a head covering, whether they're Muslim or not. There's all sorts of rules. They're clearly not very friendly to transgender or gay people. So, they're allegedly, they more than allegedly, a Washington Post reporter was murdered and dismembered at the order of the Saudis. So, they don't like dissent. And so I think there's a lot of people who don't like them. I have to say, they're not alone in human rights abuses, and it doesn't impact the output of the company if they're merely a shareholder. But if they become an owner, then I think there are people who are concerned that they would, in fact, impose restrictions on inclusion. We have a whole segment of the population who hates it, and we have a whole the segment of the population who loves it, and game companies have to do whatever they think is appropriate to attract the widest possible audience. And so, it's like that transgender influencer drinking Bud Light. Like, who cares? Transgender people get thirsty. They drink beer. Like, again, it was a huge controversy. Why? It was Bud acknowledging, hey, transgender people drink our products too. If you hate it, then you hate it and you're a hater, and that's fine. But people are up in arms with Saudi Arabia because they're on the other side that DEI is good. I happen to be in that camp. If you're on the side that DEI is bad, you love the Saudi crackdown. Whatever. I don't think it matters. People don't like the Saudi human rights abuses. Being a U.S. ally is pretty irrelevant. It isn't a financial thing. So if it were Russia buying it, people would be up in arms, and so would the U.S. government, because we have sanctions on Russia and we don't want Russia to benefit at all. If it were China buying it, we have issues with China stealing U.S. technology and privacy, and Google the TikTok ban. Would be a problem. Saudi is generally perceived to be kind of benign owner of financial assets.
This episode of Pachter Factor is brought to you by DeShazer Ryan Realty. It's time to find out why everyone is buying homes in Montana. Right now, Doug DeShazer has a beautiful single-level home with a triple-car garage available in the best neighborhood in Libby, Montana. This custom 3-bed, 2.5-bath home has a 500-square-foot patio for entertaining. It's built to last with solid wood core doors, Anderson windows, an asphalt driveway, central AC and heat, and a private well to run its sprinkler system. The price was recently reduced, and owner financing is available with 20% down. No matter where you're looking to buy in the U.S., Doug DeShazer is licensed to help. Make him your real estate consultant at 406-291-1643. That's Doug DeShazer at 406-291-1643, or go to LibbyMontanaRealEstate.com.
They tend not to tinker with stuff. They own Monopoly Go, and they own Pokemon Go, and from what I hear from Scopely and Niantic, no change. They're running their businesses the same way they were before. So I think the Saudis will be a financial buyer. They're buying this to make money off of EA's current assets, and they're buying it because I think that if you combine the intellectual property at EA with the prowess of mobile at Scopely and Niantic, you actually grow the mobile business by $1 billion a year or more. Take FIFA Ultimate Team and make it free to play. You don't have to buy FIFA first. You'll grow revenue by $1 billion. You do those two things, you paid for the deal. So I personally think it's a great deal. The structure of the deal, $20 billion in debt, has, with the Saudis behind it, $1 billion a year in interest expense. The EA right now throws off $2 billion. If I'm right about mobile and FIFA Ultimate Team being put on, free to play everywhere, that $2 billion will be $3 or $4 billion. So they're going to cover the interest expense by a lot. No bank is going to foreclose on Saudi Arabia, and then they'll repay the debt out of free cash flow. And the idea is that Silver Lake's going to make money over time. Obviously, they expect to make money. The debt exists solely so the Saudis don't own 95%. What are the pros and cons of EA going private versus staying public? Well, if they stay public, they won't do those things. They won't do mobile because they have no clue how to do mobile. You can pull up a Pachter Factor or pach-attack from at least 10 years ago, and I said repeatedly, EA sucks at mobile. I think EA was unwilling and unable to take a risk on new IP, so we haven't seen new IP. They don't have anything in the pipeline new, and they just canceled a Black Panther game and a Star Wars game, license. They are not innovative. They have kind of flushed the Need for Speed brand, the Burnout brand. They have so many brands that they don't make anymore. I think that they have just completely stalled in their creativity. Do I think the Saudis are super creative? Absolutely not. But the Saudis are making a $50 billion bet, so they have an incentive to try new things. And so I think that new ownership that has a long horizon and doesn't care about quarterly profits can take some risk on IP. And I actually think the talent at EA is good, and they'll probably come up with stuff. But that's a big pro. Why does Saudi want to be so involved in gaming? They have a generational aspiration, look that one up, to move jobs to Saudi Arabia. So they have, as last I checked, 2,000 different investments. And again, I'm sure ranging from automotive to consumer packaged goods. But they want to drive investment in Saudi Arabia and ultimately drive employment in Saudi Arabia. And they're not going to tell EA everybody's fired if you want a job, it's in Saudi Arabia. That won't happen. But what they will tell EA is, as you build out your AI tools and you create different quality testing using AI tools, or different art creation using AI tools, can you set up the quality control studio in Riyadh with new employees? And of course they can. And they probably will. So as they hire new people, brand new jobs for new things, start hiring in Saudi Arabia. And I think that's actually smart of the country. That's what makes America great, that we have so many different industries, and our college grads tend to stay here and work here. And we're very attractive to foreign college grads who want to come here and work here. Why gaming? It's a growth industry. It's a growth industry ripe for consolidation. They have a lot of money. It's the right kind of activity. It's not going away. We're going to keep playing games forever. And even if you say, I don't think it's going to grow, it's $200 billion, so that's big enough. If they want to make a splash, buy the biggest one in the business. So will it impact same-sex or transgender? I don't know. I would imagine not. The resistance to any kind of social experimentation in the game is only within Saudi Arabia, and so they require that films be sanitized to that, or games. And so sure, they'll have a Saudi version, but if it works in the UK or the US, why do they care? I mean, I don't think they're going to sanitize, but we'll see. I don't know. That'll make the developers unhappy if they do, and that'll chase developers off. So I'm hopeful they don't. First and last questions are the right ones. People are up in arms because they worry about depiction of transgender same-sex characters, which are real people in real life situations, so why wouldn't they be in games? And some people go crazy. They're real people, and they deserve to be left alone. Look, at the end of the day, the Saudis don't care what gamers think of them, positive or negative. They're not buying EA, so gamers will like them. They don't care what you think. This will be about as well known out there as the fact that Take-Two publishes Grand Theft Auto. People think Grand Theft Auto is Rockstar. They don't even know who Take-Two is. So I would say, Take-Two recognition among the public is higher than the Saudis owning EA. People are not going to know. After this news cycle passes, no one's going to remember who owns EA. But that's not why they're doing it. So this is not something like Live Golf on TV every week, where they remind you every week the Saudis own the golf circuit. Isn't that cool? No whitewashing here at all. They don't care. They are not buying this for that reason. They're now, golf, yes. They invested in golf. Are they owning soccer teams? Yes. Because they're trying to appear normal to the masses. This is not that at all. This is financial. They actually believe they're going to make money on this, and they could give a shit who knows it or who cares what they own. So no, I don't think they're doing it to whitewash. So again, to our Patreon patrons and our YouTube subscribers, thank you. You're keeping Shane afloat. Anybody who has an Amazon Prime account, please remember to link that to your Twitch Prime account. You have to do that every month. There are instructions on how to do so in the show description below. It's free for you. You stick it to Amazon. You have to redo it every month. So please relink those two accounts. Shane gets an extra $250. It costs you absolutely nothing. You're sticking it to Amazon, and it's free money. It's part of your subscription, so take advantage of it. If you don't, you're a chump. That's it for Pachter Factor. I will see you, my fellow babies, next week.